Hi guys, this is your friend Rahul and my channel is called Expert Advice. So welcome back once again. Today we'll be talking about the COVID-19 situation in Canada and its impact on the express entry draws, and a brief analysis which is totally my opinion what impact it's going to have on the CRS scores. As of today, starting from 25th of March, Canada has got a total of 45,888 cases, confirmed positive cases, out of which 15,000 people have recovered and become alright. There have been a total of 2,300 deaths in Canada. But in these difficult times, in order to implement the Quarantine Act which the federal government has put in place, there are certain very severe punishments for the person or the people who are not following the laid down guidelines. So especially for the people who are coming into Canada, in case you are not following the given guidelines, say you have to do a self quarantine of 14 days, you don't have to meet any people, even when you're landing into Canada from the airport, you have to go directly to your house or hotel or whichever place you are supposed to stay. So in case you are not following these guidelines, there are a few more guidelines. So the severity of the punishment is that you could be fined almost 750,000 Canadian dollars, or you could be put in the jail, imprisoned for almost 6 months. There is a second severity of punishment which is there in case you are putting a threat to any other person's life and causing damage or harm to any other person. In that case, there could be a possibility of you being fined 1 million Canadian dollars, imprisonment up to 3 years. You can be imprisoned up to 3 years, or both the things, that is the fine of 1 million as well as the imprisonment of 3 years. The federal government has brought in the Canadian Army, the police, and the provincial police to ensure that all the Canadians are following these guidelines, and how this Quarantine Act is being abided by. So much so that they have asked the police to issue tickets to the people which could range starting from 275 Canadian dollars and up to 1,000 Canadian dollars. So I think this is a very very strict measures which the Canadian government is taking to ensure that their citizens are completely safe and they can come out of this situation as soon as possible. I think the graph or the curve, as you may call it, for the COVID-19 seems to be moving towards a downward direction. So I think it is a very positive sign that all these quarantine act has been effective and is going to be helpful to the Canadian citizens and the country in the coming times. So, in this situation, basically the people who can still enter into Canada are basically the Canadian citizens, the PR holders, their families, the citizens, their families, people having the work permit, the students, and there is a whole list which is available on the CIC site as to, with certain exception, that these are the people who can enter into Canada. And obviously the immediate family of these people, and the way the immediate family is being defined is spouse or common law partner, dependent child of a dependent child, parents or step parents, guardians or tutor. So these are the people who can travel. And the other thing is, in these tough times, the Canadian government has really supported the people, and they have come up with a few policies infused with benefits for the individuals, for the businesses, for the Canadians who are based abroad, and at the same time they are doing a Canadian Emergency Response Benefit which has been put into place, which is called the CERB, and then there's a Canadian Emergency Wage Subsidy, CEWS, which has been put in place. So I think Canadian government has done really well for its citizens, and I think somewhere that would have lessened the impact, in terms of people losing their jobs or the businesses being shut down for so long. So I think it's a great monetary help from the Canadian government. Now, looking at the number of draws which have happened in the month of April, I think it is completely changed the dynamics of the way these federal express entry draws were happening. So total draws which have happened are 4 draws, and there have been for the first time back-to-back draws. Rather, 2 draws have happened within a difference of few hours, like 3-4 hours. So that is something which is totally unheard of, basically. So the latest draw, which is draw number 144, which happened on 15th of April, rather 16th of April, intervening 15th and 16th of April, it is got around 300 and 3,782. It has got 3,782 invitations. Minimum CRS has gone to 455, and the only people in the pool who have got this are the Canadian experience class. So, and in case any people have got into a tie break, then I think the 20th January, people who have applied before 20th of January, they are the people who have been given preference. So imagine 3,782 invitations have been given to the Canadian experience class. I think this says a lot about how the IRCC is going ahead with this approach. The number 143 draw, which was on 15th of April, has been a provincial nominee program. Total invitation issued are 118. It was held on the 15th of April. The lowest CRS score was 808. So obviously, because it has got the PNP and a combination of the points for the provincial nominee, and you have your own CRS score combined, so you can see that the lowest is 808. So surely someone who is who's having very less individual CRS score has benefited greatly and has got the invitation to apply. The third draw which happened, this was draw number 142, 9th of April, again for the Canadian experience class. Total number of invitation issued was 3294. So you can imagine, suddenly the people who are there with the Canadian experience class, they are gaining immensely because of this situation. And the fourth draw which had taken place was again on 9th of April. So these two draws happened within few hours of each other. So draw number 144 happened, and then the draw number 142 happened. This was for the provincial nominee program. 606 invitations issued, and the lowest was 698. The lowest CRS score was 698. So I think, as I mentioned, the whole dynamics of the express entry has changed in the last, say, 1.5 to 2 months. What I feel and this is totally my opinion, I think the Canadian federal government or the IRCC not having an option or deliberately are keeping the federal skilled worker and federal trade that is the federal skilled trade people who are in the pool, their applications on hold, or rather it is suspended right now. I think there is a very smart strategy on this, because the people who are mainly the Canadian experience class, those people are already physically available in Canada. They are present in Canada. I think if not all, at least 90% of the applicants are already in Canada. So it saves a lot of botheration for the IRCC along with the federal government, to have the federal skilled workers draws taken in the pool, and then those people trying to come into Canada, increase the load, in these tough times, go into self-quarantine. A lot of resources will have to be deployed. So I think it's a very smart move, and that is why they are going ahead only with the PNP and the Canadian experience class, because Canadian experience class anyhow is the second highest applicants after the federal skilled worker for the express entry. So I think if the situation does not improve, say hopefully by June or so, I think then they will keep going ahead with these two categories of applicants, that is the Canadian experience class and the federal and the provincial nominee program, and this will be a very big negative to the federal skilled worker category especially. But what's going to happen is, I think as soon as the restrictions are taken away for the next 30 to 45 days, I think the CRS will certainly be in a range of say 450 to 465, what I feel. But once the new candidates start doing their WES, start doing their IELTS, where they have got some really quality time to prepare for their IELTS, I think a lot of people will end up hitting a band 8 to band 10 in IELTS, where they're going to be having the maximum possible score for the IELTS exam, which is going to get included in their overall CRS score. So what I anticipate is, within 2 months of these two categories again being allowed, I think the CRS is probably going to go up to 480 to 500. That's what I feel. And what is going to happen is, the people who are on the threshold of that 460 to 475 kind of a range, I think those people are going to really feel the pinch, and they might get left out, for all you know, in this year's 2020's quota, the express entry quota. And though the applications in the pool can be valid for 1 year, so depending on whether they put in their applications in the month of March or in the month of February, they would be hopeful for the initial draws in the year 2021. So overall, I think it's not a very great situation, especially for the people in the federal skilled worker category. So a lot of people who are not in Canada, are being affected. But I think the main idea here would be to keep your focus. If you feel that you had given the IELTS exam and your band was not great, you were around 7.5, possibly this could be a golden time for you to go back, prepare in a much stronger manner, and try and improve your IELTS scores so your overall scores improves drastically. So and I think this might be a temporary phase, but I think it's very important to stay focused, not give up on your objective of being in Canada, possibly in the year, by the end of year 2020 or in the first half of the year 2021. I think there could be certain great exceptions the IRCC might be making, where they might be doing say hopefully 6 or 7 draws in a month, back-to-back draws, once the situation is normal, because they also somewhere down the line would be having to meet their pressure basically for the in terms of meeting the allocation for the year 2020. So I think there is always hope. Just stick on, guys, and let's hope for the best for everyone. If you think this video was informative enough, please press the like button, please subscribe, please comment. You have any further clarifications, any questions, please write an email to me. And till next time, please take good care. See you soon. Bye bye.